Hey, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen, and on this channel I accompany you on your creative journey. I share the things that I learn in my daily drawing practice, and hopefully it inspires yours as well. I hope that the past few weeks you have been picking up those challenges that I have been suggesting for you, and that you are feeling playful and loose and getting to know your favorite subjects or your sort of blind spots, or maybe you found some interesting new tools that you already had but you rediscovered them. And today I am going to grab another tool from my stash, one that I really love but not always, which is kind of strange, and that is this Tempera stick. It's basically, it looks like a glue stick, but it's basically paint in a stick. And I really like the bright colors of them and the playfulness of them, and I love that you can create a certain texture, but I also don't really always know how to use them best. And today I am going to use the blob method, which I will explain while I'm doing it. So let's dive in. Sometimes when you want to draw something, you can feel overwhelmed. Where to start? Can I even do this? Whenever I feel this, or when I'm in a bit of a rut, I start with a big, colorful blob. Starting with a big, colorful shape is a great way to break through that rut. By quickly laying down the general shape of your subject, you create a base to work with. This makes it easier to relax and to draw on top, using that initial shape as your guide. Most often I use watercolor and a big brush for the blob method, but I want to try something different today. So I am using this Tempera stick, which is gouache paint, tempera paint, in a stick. And then I will also use this Pentel Pocket Brushpen, which is basically a fountain pen, but with a brush. The ink in the cartridge is gray, which I don't love because I actually really like dark black. But well, I am just using two tools that I'm not super enthusiastic about, just stepping out of my comfort zone because that's where the magic happens, as they say. On unsplash.com I found this reference photo from a woman in a factory for teapots, which is interesting, and so I am going to use that for my drawing today. I'm applying the paint to create a quick shape, a blob, for the person I'm going to draw. Just generally creating a basic shape. It dries really quickly, so I can just start drawing on top of this straight away. I start with the hair. Don't ask me why. There are no rules here, but the hair just sort of appeals to me, so I start with that. And then I draw my way downwards, drawing the shape of the face, and well, let's not procrastinate on drawing the face as well. With the blob method, you don't really need to do a lot of detailed work, which is good because you're drawing with a brush. Your first blob is your basic shape. It guides you to draw on top. Sometimes less is more, and also the viewer's eye will fill things in that you haven't drawn. So what is important in this photo? Well, she's holding that teapot and presenting it to us, proudly. So that's what I want to draw, slowly, steadily. Drawing her hands and just a little bit of the texture on the teapot as well. I'm interpreting it, not drawing it exactly as I see it. I add some lines for those boxes in the foreground, but I'm not going to bother giving that much detail, but it helps to bring some depth to it. For more depth, I add the background. With the side of my brush, I am drawing shapes, or basically simple marks that should indicate those rows of teapots. As I'm working, I realize that probably a black line would have been better on top of this very bright and darkish blue. I expected the color to be lighter, and I think for the blob method, a lighter shade is actually better. Bright is good, but not too dark, so that the color doesn't compete with your line. I'm learning here. I'm looking at the shadows and the shelves and trying to really simplify it all. Because this drawing is about the lady more than it is about the factory that she's in. And as I am doing this, I do decide to give just a little bit more context and shape to the teapots. I'm doing it because it's just fun and I like the repetition of it. This is really about describing what's going on and not about capturing exactly what we see. I always enjoy this method, even when I use tools that don't really fit or that I don't really like. I just really enjoyed making this drawing. Okay, so what I learned today was that, yes, I love the material of the stick, of the tempera stick. I don't necessarily love the combination with the brush pen when I use gray ink in it. I missed something, I think. Maybe I should have added a little bit of white or something. I don't really know. But this is the great thing about drawing and about your sketchbook and allowing yourself to play and experiment in your sketchbook. You discover things. You discover your likes and your dislikes, and you might rediscover certain tools and materials. And you might also decide that some things are not for you. So because I didn't really love the feeling of drawing on top of the material of the tempera, I was not really getting into the flow and I don't love the result of my drawing. Other than that, I really loved figuring out how to convey that background in a very simple way and using my brush pen for that. That was very exciting to me. So there are parts in the whole process that are super exciting. And also, yes, I do love tempera sticks, but just certain colors, I think, and to use them in certain different ways, not necessarily to draw people with. And also blue, I don't know, I made her a Smurf maybe, whatever. So lots of discoveries here. And so if you need an assignment for this week, I would say grab a tool or two that you are not so familiar with or that you might even not know if you like it. And just get over yourself and start drawing with it. You might actually fall in love with it, or you might be like, yeah, I knew this, done with that. And maybe then you just give the tool to someone else who might be happy with it and you don't need to think about it anymore or feel guilty that you don't use it. As long as you're having fun, trying things out, creating and playing in your sketchbook, that's all you need. Thank you for watching this video. If you are interested in more ideas and tips and tricks, then definitely visit my Patreon page. I will put the link below this video. And of course, next week I will be back with another Draw Tip Tuesday video. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out. I'll see you next week. Bye.